The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, this is Al Baldessaro, and I am the co-host of The Art of Politics, the only show in the state of New Hampshire, probably around the country anymore, that has a Republican and a Democrat, my good friend and co-host, Ken Gids, that a Republican, which is fact, to go after a Democrat, that is fiction. Welcome, Ken. It's always a pleasure, my friend.
I must be sick because I'm not.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not coming back. I try to feed you to get you going there.
But you know, we watch these shows. We even watch them on TV. There's nothing like this.
No, nothing at all.
And you're so Republican, it's ridiculous.
That's right. What's wrong with that?
You are absolutely nuts Republican.
I used to be brain dead when I was a Democrat because all I kept thinking.
Now what are you?
Yeah, brain dead.
Puppet?
Because all I kept doing, like a puppet. All I kept doing was saying
You're
support.
just like a puppet?
Because all I heard was tax, tax, tax. I remember as a kid asking my grandfather.
Oh, God.
I asked my grandfather all the time as a young kid with Tip O'Neill. I grew up with the Kennedys. Why do you, when you put in taxes, the working people got to pay that? You're taking food off their table. Well, we got services. Yeah, but the people with deep pockets don't care. And that's why I couldn't deal with it anymore.
It's quite interesting. It was your president who gave himself $1 billion tax cut.
Here we go.
Right?
Here we go.
And next year, Social Security and Medicare has to be cut because we got to make up that money.
No.
So what you're talking about is big.
No. Where did you hear Social Security and Medicare is going to? All you Democrats throw out scare tactics. That is a bunch of BS.
He wants $25 billion to build a wall. Hey,
not from Social Security or Medicare.
Mexico was going to build a wall.
Did you see the bill that Cruz put in?
What happened?
They froze $14 billion of that drug lord's money, the one that's in jail, Capo, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But anyways, Senator Ted Cruz put in a piece of legislation to take that $14 billion and go towards. He also has another piece of legislation that all drug money that they're taking from Mexico and other areas are going to pay for that.
Well,
it's going to reimburse the money.
But
we have to get it started.
Okay, but one of the things that they have done, if you grab drug money or cars or vehicles or boats, they usually, whoever did it, they get the rewards. In other words, they sell them,
the police department,
etc. But when it comes to what Cruz did, that's good. And you know something? I've got to say, he's a Mexican, right? Mexico is paying $12 billion.
What nationality he is?
Well,
if he's cute, I don't know.
You got $12 billion.
I look at it as he's American. I don't look at it as he's Mexican.
We haven't been around for a while together.
No, we haven't.
You've been to Florida?
Yeah, I was in Florida, in December. Yeah. But I mean, I was going to go Thursday night and then come back Sunday. But I had the Republican GOP meeting tomorrow, so
What's
my wife
tomorrow?
and I. Tomorrow is the GOP, all the delegates meeting at the Bow High School tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. So and we'll go
over. So do the Democrats do that?
I don't know what the Democrats do.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they don't tell me.
Yeah, they probably don't. And you know something? Well, you're big time now. You're an what do they call you? An alderman?
Yes, I am one of the aldermen.
So what's the difference? I mean, do you see a big difference between tax and spenders in a lower level versus your tax and spenders in a higher level
No.
at the State House?
First of all, I want to bring up a good point. We, in my opinion, and I'm one of the people in Concord who go, hey, listen, Democrats, wake up, right?
Mhm. Tax and spenders say.
No, just
That's
hold
what
on.
they are.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So evidently, what was going on was so petty or whatever. They all got wiped out.
In
All of
Nashua.
it just got wiped out.
I mean in Nashua.
Yeah.
And the people are going to pay for that.
And we're
you know
not
that.
supposed to say Republicans
Right.
or Democrats, but they were. But I got something to tell you. So now, being an alderman to me is very important. I'm in Ward 6. I'm also a state representative, which is good for Ward 6 because we get a lot of information. You know that.
Right, yeah.
All right. But do you know, and I've been saying, no one Democrat for the Democratic Party in New Hampshire called me to congratulate me,
Mhm. Oh, I believe that.
emailed me to congratulate
Because you
me.
hang out with me.
And I'm a Democrat, and I'm saying, wake up.
Yeah.
When you get somebody who is a Democrat, okay, in a particular place in a city, which that's another, okay.
Right.
You should at least congratulate them. And but one thing,
Because you hang out with me, they don't like you.
well,
You might have to defriend me.
listen to this. I let everyone come on my Facebook, and I go to Facebooks. The Republican that's talking about me. Some are calling me a jerk. Some are and,
Republicans?
oh yeah, and
Why?
that's, well, hold on, I'm not done. So someone will go, no, I know him. We can work with him. I don't like him, but we can work with him. There's nothing. I got nothing from the Democrats. Democrats got to wake up.
But then again, your whole aldermen, all the aldermen I heard are all Democrats. Okay, now I heard every one of them, the Republicans that were on aldermen all got voted out.
No, that's not true.
That's what Don was just telling me, Don
No,
LeBrun.
that's,
He said they're all Democrats. And then
he
said,
got voted out.
And then he got voted out. But what
got voted out.
Kyle Seidel, a state rep with me and Representative LeBrun,
Yeah.
he told me your first vote, the 15 of you, was to put a bond on the ballot of 15 point something million or 0.6 million for what, a music center or something?
Performing arts.
A performing arts. Okay. Then he said you're going to do another bond of 50 million to renovate your schools. What's done wrong? I understand renovating schools, but the thing is to do it all at once.
Hold on a second. One at a time. That has not come before us.
No, it's got to come forward.
Yes.
But the thing is, I understand about the part of renovating schools because we want good schools.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, with the money that we're spending, how are the people that, when you've raised their taxes, going to continue to live in Nashua?
Well, that's
'Cause you don't have a lot of people with deep pockets
Well, hold on
in a city.
second. Hold on a second. You know, and we've gone over this, that Representative Rice and I studied the economic impact of the arts and cultures in the state of New Hampshire. I know what's going on in the state. Nashua, the people here want it so badly that they look down and that's what they see. I'm looking at the whole state and I'm
Right.
going, look, we got to do this right. We can't lose one penny. And then I find out they're not putting in a full-time art gallery. And I'm an artist. So you are eliminating me. You are eliminating, let's say, photographers. You're eliminating the sculptors.
Right.
Now there's this new computer type stuff. It's unbelievable, beautiful stuff. And you're going to eliminate it.
Are they going to redo?
You know, no, let me finish.
Okay.
So they want my vote, to vote for it.
Right, which you already did.
No.
They said you
No. We talked about it.
Okay, Don was saying the vote was the first vote on the
No,
first day.
yes, it's like the first,
Right,
second.
yeah.
No, look. What I may do, if I know it has to take place. Okay, it will make money if it's long, if it's run right. In fact, Peter, who runs the Capitol for 18 years, has brought that place right up. He's come down. He's going to help the city. So that makes me really feel good because Peter was on the committee
Who's
that studied
Peter?
the
Is he an
yes, I'm
assemblyman?
sorry, I can't.
Is he an
honestly-
assemblyman?
He used to be a representative. Peter.
Silva?
No. I'm sorry. I don't. It slipped. But he runs the Capitol Theater,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very successful. And he came down and he says, look, it's going to change everything. It's going to change the community. But you got to do it right.
Right.
And that's what scares me, because I love the arts.
Tell-
But when
why-
they start out and don't
Let me
put
ask
in
you
a
something.
full-time art gallery.
I live in Londonderry.
Yeah.
Tell me why I would want to come all the way here to Nashua and spend money there. If I didn't do the show with you,
Yeah.
my wife and I wouldn't be going over to the mall or to spend money in the restaurants like we did.
And I'll tell you
tell me why.
And during our research, we're 40-50 in the United States for state funding state arts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want businesses to come in or relocate to New Hampshire, sophisticated business will get statistics.
But I have the
And
snooze
excuse
center
me,
up the street.
And that is one statistic
Right.
that we are awful.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you come over?
I wouldn't.
You have not been introduced to it.
No, my wife and I will go in the band. We'll go to Tupelo Hall in Derry to music. We'd go to the Snooze Center over there and right up the street in Manchester. But I just.
But why would you come over here?
But I'm saying people on my side over at
Oh,
Londonderry
you'd come over.
area.
No, you and your
you
wife
know?
will come over.
But why? I mean,
Because they're going to have real live theater,
Yeah.
musicals, etc. And once you see these,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Peter up there is going to help Nashua do this, get
Right.
get it running, and I'm sure the people he could suggest someone to hire
Right.
to do it. Once you see this, you're gonna
No.
your wife and you are just
Once
gonna
I
love
see it, I
Yeah.
understand.
No.
We may.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is government is terrible in running businesses. If the city of Nashua is going to run that arts center, now they have endless pockets of the taxpayers. So they'll hire
no,
employees.
no,
You
they
have to
don't.
maintain it, maintenance, heat,
No,
all this stuff.
no,
Are you going to have shows there 7 days a week?
That's a
You know what I mean? Are you going to
Hold
be
on
able
a
to
second.
fund this?
You have okay. You will go to this place in Londonderry. What's the name of it? Tupelo? Is
Well,
it?
Tupelo, they moved into Derry right up the street.
right,
I was
okay.
there this morning.
How many
for,
does a
breakfast.
seat?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 500. I don't
Okay.
know.
Right down in Nashua on Canal Street in the late 70s, I owned a business called Barnaby's. Sat 500 people. We did music just like they're doing over there.
Right.
In fact, they're following the same thing we did. The difference is we sold beer and alcohol. They're
Right.
not selling that over there, are they?
Yeah, they do. They got a bar in there. Yeah, Tupelo's.
All right. Okay, so am I the only one in the city? Excuse me, I hit the microphone. Am I the only one in the city who has run something that sat 500 people?
I don't know. I
Maybe.
don't know about your city.
So now this is going to be 500 plus, a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would think they would kind of listen to me. Having said that, they may not. But I'll tell you, I will fight to get the absolute best, and I will know what
you
the
would
best
want
is.
you would want beer and wine in there. Okay.
Oh,
You-
no, yeah,
you know,
oh, yeah,
you
oh,
would want
absolutely.
some type of food in there to be
Yeah.
able to, because that's how you attract people after
Absolutely.
work.
Oh, absolutely.
Because most shows are what, 6, 7 o'clock at night, and
Eh.
people coming home from work going to go to a show or
Oh, it's
theater or whatever they're going to do.
if it gets and besides that, businesses can rent it during the day. It can be set up for
Right.
and with I mean, it's really nice.
I'm just telling
And that's,
you.
by the way, that's a good
Right.
business.
All I'm saying
Catering
to
is
you,
a great
what I
business.
see around the country and places I've been to, when the city towns run these here, they end up to cost more than a private entity that owns it because they have to make a paycheck to put food on their table. When the government owns it, they don't care. They have endless pockets. There's a
Well,
big difference in the thought
well,
process.
yeah, no,
So
no,
you're going to put something in place.
No, I
Remember this conversation, what I'm saying here today, that you will end up funding this.
But Al, when centers like that come in to a community,
Mhm.
it's like there's a big circle when those people come in because it's a constant thing.
Mhm.
This could lose $500,000 a year and make $10 million down on Main Street. I don't want it to lose
Right.
anything, but this is an explosion. This is
Right.
something that's completely.
The $10 million down Main Street does not benefit the taxpayers.
Of course it does.
How does it benefit them? Tell me. What sales tax is there? What?
How does it benefit?
Yeah, how does it benefit?
people coming down?
It benefits the businesses
people
there.
excuse me.
How does it
Who do you-
reimburse the
who do
money
you-
for that
Who do
theater?
you think runs the place? The people from Nashua.
No,
They don't make any
no,
money?
I'm saying the people will
They
make
don't
the money.
surprise?
I'm saying the people make their money, but meanwhile the taxpayers are still paying
Excuse me.
for that other entity.
Excuse me. And the people have real entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
live good entertainment that they can come to themselves.
I've been a
Does
few.
that do something?
I came here to Nashua a few times for fundraisers and other stuff at different bars in Nashua. I can't think of the names.
Yeah.
Where live entertainment, everything was great.
Yes.
Okay, but that's private. That's public. That's people making making a living. But what I'm trying to say, they bring these bands in and do all this stuff with food and entertainment because that's their living. When the government is involved with it, what I'm trying to say is it's not that important
Well,
because they're going to eat no
Hold
matter
on,
what.
hold on a
The
second.
government off the
No,
taxpayers.
to a degree, you're really, truly right. Because when you say government, we're talking politics.
Mm-hmm.
If you get out of politics, anything can run. Okay, but you got to get the politics out of it.
Yeah.
Now, when we did that study, that's all it was. We had our thing stolen away from us. Our committee that we put up was taken away from us.
When are you?
Now the
when
question
are they
is,
looking to
how
build
could
it?
that happen? Politics.
Yeah. When is your election? I mean, the vote for that to put it on the ballot. When's that?
Well, they did have it. It was like it wasn't much.
Oh, so it
200.
don't have to go to the voters? The aldermen
It
can
did.
just
And it came out by 200, which is not much.
right. Okay, remember this conversation here
No.
when they build it.
No.
Okay, because we're going to keep an eye on this here,
Oh,
and we're going to look at the cost
you know,
on how they're going to take the taxpayers
Al,
to the cleaners.
Al, if I didn't do what you said after all the information I know, and basically, they're not taking much of my information. The old saying in the trades is measure twice, cut once. If you measure twice and cut and you're wrong, that costs money.
Right.
So take my word for it.
I understand.
If
this
they
is-
don't want to put in
Right.
an art gallery to bring people in, okay, into the community, into the city,
Right.
a full-time, now, there may be something, but not a full-time art gallery.
Right.
If they don't do that, then it's my job as an alderman from Ward 6 to make sure nothing is lost.
Now I understand this building is going to be built or something, or right next to an apartment building.
It's right on Main Street,
Oh, so you're buying a building?
yes,
Okay.
but it's going to be completely rehabbed.
Right, so you're
yes.
going to go in and soundproof and do all that other stuff because you're right next to an apartment? What about parking?
No,
Parking's
we got a
terrible.
parking garage. We got
Do
a
you?
parking garage right
Okay,
down the
because
street.
that's neat, because parking's terrible down on, at least it used to be. I don't know how it is down there if you want to go to some of the restaurants.
Well, you know, the great problem when people use that parking as like one chair, you needed 3 chairs to have one parking place. Something. The problem is that they've done studies, and those parking lots are rarely filled. I mean, we're talking like if you need 100 parking places, and there's only 25 or 30. What's the sense? Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but parking garages, in my opinion, is always the way.
Yeah.
But how do they do it up in Manchester? How?
Well, they get all these businesses.
Verizon?
They get all these businesses when they have a function going on that rent out, like their businesses are closed down at night and they rent out their spots. $20 to park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Would Nashua do that here?
I don't know. When you drive
How
down,
smart is
wait,
Manchester?
listen to me what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you drive down Main Street, all your buildings are so close to the sidewalks. Okay, you really don't have no big open garages like you do if you get down Elm Street. Where you got garages that got big fronts. You don't have that like in Nashua.
We have 2 parking garages, which seems to do well. I think
Yeah.
we could use one more.
Because even City Hall, when you go there, you got to try to get around the back. There's no parking out in
There's
front.
a parking garage right
Yeah,
there.
you got to go. Yeah.
Connected.
Mhm.
But you know something? I have never seen in my entire life people complaining more about parking garages than here in Nashua. If you and I walked through it and said, okay, somebody's saying this is not friendly, you and I could walk through
Right.
there. I mean, come on, we're streetwise.
Yeah, I remember
We
Street.
could
Was
walk,
it Streeter?
We could walk
s-
through there, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Don't you think, with your background and my background, we could walk through there and say, well, guess what? this is not family or friendly.
Right.
Well, put a mirror up here and put a light down there, and you know.
I remember Mayor Street, I think it was Street, I'm trying to remember, here in Nashua, made an issue about the parking because he was getting a lot of complaints. You know, back then, I don't know how, if they corrected it or
You
not.
know-
I don't live in this
You
town,
know, Al,
in this city.
about 15 years ago when I was doing radio and there was TV 13, okay, and the Telegraph, we did a panel. The radio station ran it live, TV 13 taped it, and George Gears, who is the publisher, wrote story after story on it. So I'm going to run it, and I want so many people, and I have people pick. So I'm okay. We start off now. I'm under the impression, Al, that we're going to talk about very important things. Al, it's all about parking. I couldn't believe it. And,
Right.
and then we
Because
had.
it is an issue. If you,
Oh,
if
it's
you got a place,
it's unbelievable.
you know, bringing in, you know, let's say 500 people. I mean, you know, so let's say 200 cars maybe.
Oh, that's not a
You know?
problem. That's not a problem.
So it's not a problem. That
Not at
garage
all.
could
Not
handle
at all.
200 cars.
Not at all. That's not no.
That's good.
Compared to the
Well,
Verizon. Oh my God.
When you
that-
start paying to heat that building, the budget for that, the people that work there, the management, the maintenance.
It's the way it works.
Okay.
But
Good luck.
you have to remember, I ran one of those
But
places.
taxpayers in Nashua are rich anyway.
Hold on a second.
Are you all rich,
No, hold on.
Nashua?
I ran one of those. I know what it takes.
Yeah.
If I go in there and I see, I'm telling you, everybody thinks because I will vote for it, thinks I'm not going to keep an eye on this. You know, as I said, and you're going to hear this a lot. You know, measure twice, cut once.
Right.
That's the trades. If you measure twice and you got to measure again that costs money. So
See now,
yeah.
in my district, they a few years ago, or last election, I think it was, they put on the ballot a petition there for the bond for a big auditorium for the high school, and the people in my district voted it down
why?
because they felt that they didn't need it. They felt that it would cost more money to run it, to maintain it, and their taxes would have gone up, you know, in order to keep it going. Because, you know.
Well, you're not a city.
No, we're not, but there's
Okay,
25,000
you're not
people.
a city. In fact, our city, the money we give to the state, and in fact, Nashua has given more money.
No, you haven't.
Let me finish.
No, you haven't.
Let
You
me
get more
fi-
money
let me-
back in
let me-
education.
Let
No,
me
you don't.
finish.
I
Let me
checked
finish.
that out.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm going to cut you
Have
in a
given
minute.
more money to the treasury than any city in the state of New Hampshire.
And you have
And
taken
we,
more
so
back in
we
education.
give you money.
And you have taken, no,
So
you haven't.
we give you money.
No, you haven't.
Oh, you don't like that,
You
though.
No, because you got more
We-
money.
yeah, well-
you got more money coming
Well,
back in
how
your
many
education.
people, when
The-
we
the
make
many
all this
schools,
money
you're-
and give it to the state,
Under adequacy
why
funding.
can't we get our rail?
Wait, because you're not being honest. Because under adequacy funding, you got more money coming back. You got a few charter schools here that were, you know, funding also. Mine are charter versus
Charter
funding
school.
versus public.
Listen, my wife worked in a charter school.
They're great
Religious
schools.
charter schools
They're great
are
schools.
illegal
Oh,
constitutionally.
get over it. Where you in your mind they are. In your mind.
You know, no.
Show me how they're
Separation
unconstitutional.
between church and state.
No. You know something? The Supreme Court already made the decision. They proved you wrong. New Hampshire.
What Supreme Court?
New Hampshire Supreme Court.
Really?
Yes. Matter of fact, it doesn't one of the
You know,
great chief Supreme
you-
Court,
you
Linda
know,
Delanus.
that's not-
She's done a great job.
that's-
She's from Nashville.
That's not what they said.
What did they say?
They said under circumstances, not something outright.
They
And
s-
I think that's fair.
They said the money going to the religious schools was constitutional, okay? Because they put in that program for low-income kids. Don't you like helping out low-income kids to give them a
Yeah,
chance?
but that's
No, don't you want to give them a chance like other kids with deep pockets?
Hold on a second.
No, seriously,
now.
answer my question.
Yeah, charter
Don't-
schools
don't
are a
you-
little different.
Don't you want parents to make their own decisions
Charter schools are
on
a
their
lot
education?
different than a regular school.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you start taking so much money away from the public schools, you went to a public school. You all screwed up.
You know something?
In my opinion, you are.
My
But are
dad-
you?
my
You went
dad-
to a public school.
Well, no, but I had issues in the public school.
So
I
what?
had issues. You know what I'm saying? And
But look at you.
no, but I did good.
You turned out to be a
but there's
Republican.
but there's a big
That's
difference in
awful.
today's schools.
Why?
Because today's teachers are
Why?
they're moms and dads. They're
You
worried about
keep-
other stuff instead of focusing on teaching the children.
Oh.
Look at where New Hampshire
Oh,
is
no,
today.
no, hold on. I put in a teachers protection bill for 3
I supported
terms.
that. I supported
Yeah,
it.
you support. Now, hold
I
on.
voted that.
Hold on a second.
Teachers don't get the respect
You
they
make
deserve.
a good point. All right? And the bill simply states, and we had the unions, we had the teachers, and we had the administrations, right?
They were fighting you.
No, we were all together on this. Okay.
Why didn't it pass?
Well,
I supported it.
You're
I
a
don't
man.
remember why.
I'm a man. You see a fight. What are you going to do?
Wasn't it under the Democrat?
Let me finish. Are you gonna break it up?
You're damn right I would.
Well, they tell you by what the school board says. No, you can't. You've got to go get somebody else because that
That's
could be a
crazy.
lawsuit.
Meanwhile, the kid's killing somebody.
Right.
You know, that's crazy.
So that was a protection, teachers' protection
Right,
bill.
and I support
that
it.
Things like that
Yeah.
couldn't happen.
Right.
Well, what happens is a guy goes up, teacher breaks up the fight, he takes him to the office, he goes in and he sees the principal. The principal comes out, and the 2 kids who were in a fight now are not mad, and they said, he touched us. He touched us.
Yeah.
Well, I broke up a fight. No, you can't touch him. And you didn't ask for
That's
another
crazy.
teacher?
That's crazy.
That's what
crazy.
I mean.
Right.
It isn't the teachers.
I don't remember why.
It's
and I have
not
to
the
look it up.
teachers.
What happened? Why that didn't pass? I supported that.
You want to
Yeah.
know why?
Why? It was under the Democrat House. How come? Why in the Democrat
Well,
government?
no, it passed the House.
Right. But I'm saying that you were Democrat controlled at the time when that bill came forward. Why didn't it pass?
So, and we had more Democrats than Republicans,
Yeah.
and it didn't pass.
How come? That's what I'm trying to find out. Why? You know, the Republicans. A lot of us were on board with you.
Excuse me.
I thought it was a great bill.
Excuse me. We did too.
Mhm.
And in fact, without mentioning a senator or anyone else,
Mhm.
when they voted, look, I asked the senator. I said, "Are you going? What about this bill?" And the senator said, "Well, no, of course not." And I said, "It's my bill."
Yeah.
Well, I might read it.
Mhm.
And then they shot it down 3 times. And just
Crazy.
So when you say teachers aren't doing, teachers can't do what they want to do.
I hear that's my problem in public school because we got some great teachers in New Hampshire. We got too many administrators over the teachers.
You have
Let the
you're
teachers do their job.
Well, that's
Let
why.
them teach.
Why do you think we put the
Okay.
Text for Teacher bill in? And you know the
But it didn't pass, so forget
No,
about it.
no.
It didn't pass.
No, but the wrong thing is we said protection.
Right.
So that means we can do things against the kids.
No.
I
You know,
know,
son,
I
the bill
know.
was read, and I know I've read it.
I know.
It was read to protect the teachers so they couldn't be sued. Okay?
The
If they
school
broke up a fight.
system,
Right.
everybody.
Right, but focus more on the teacher that's in the trenches.
And by the way, the union came in and said, right now, if they take us to court, we're winning like 95 to 98% of the cases. So to put this law in would just eliminate completely.
Right, I agree.
And it's all nuisance.
I agree.
And this is true. Teachers in a class, big guy gives the teacher a hard time, a joke, teacher puts hand on the student's neck, and he's a big, walks him over to the seat. Everybody's laughing. He sits down. It's a joke. She gets up and starts teaching. The girl in the back, student, goes to the next class and tells the teacher that this teacher touched a boy. Now I guess teachers couldn't ask where or how or what.
Right.
So now it goes to the principal. It couldn't be explained because the guy says, no, she didn't really touch me. You know, she went like this and it was all funny.
Right.
But under the rules, you can't touch him.
Touch them, right.
But it was, you know how teachers are, they're
Right.
funny. You know, it was nothing.
Yep.
So
I-
anyway, now is that fair?
No, it's
And
not.
you want to
And
know
I think
something?
I think
And
the
you know
regulations
something?
and other we got out of control.
And once those people, when she started to teach and they didn't like the way she was doing it, they kept throwing things about her. Okay? She gets thrown out. I get a call. I go down there and hear this, and I'm saying, what? And the kids are laying down on the floor, and you go get a principal, or you bring a kid to the class, to the office, and he comes back after saying, excuse my language, fuck you. That's what they would say.
Right, yeah, that's,
And you bring a student. Do you
I
know what would
apologize for
happen?
the language from this
Yeah,
Democrat.
but do you know what would happen if I ever said that to a teacher when I was growing up?
Right. I hope he believed you.
My father would come in and hit me on top of the head.
I know that. This is why today's society.
And they sent the kids back.
This is why today parents are pulling their children out of public schools, because there's disruption in the classes. I feel bad for some of the kids in Manchester, because of the language barriers and other stuff there.
Yeah.
Because they have to bring all these other teachers in to teach all these different languages.
Yeah.
But the kids that are there, that their parents want a great education for.
Yes.
Like me, I moved my children from Delaware to Aberdeen, Maryland.
Yes.
Because I did not want my kids to leave their Delaware to be bused into Wilmington to poor schools, because I was concerned about my kids' education.
Well, you bring up a good point, because what we're doing is we're putting it to the teachers. When I heard what took place to the teacher, and lady teachers would break up fights. You can't let a kid get beat up.
If we let the teachers
Would you
teach,
do that? Would you let it? Would you and I saw a kid being beat up?
I'd break it up.
Of course you would.
Yeah, I'd break it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing is,
But that's against the law.
But what I'm trying to tell you, in today's society, we put so many handcuffs on teachers. We should let them teach. And keep the administrators out, in the bureaucracy out of there.
You know how
and that's why parents are pulling their kids.
You know how government works.
I know it.
Okay, so it's the school boards that are doing this. And it's we'll use the word representative instead of something. The representatives then vote for it.
I don't know. All I know is
when they say no.
All I know is
when they say no touching, and there's no reason to touch it, you break up a fight.
Right. Now, in the school district in Londonderry, and I just asked the person that handles the school tax credit money, with kids. Since this program has been in place, Londonderry lost just 2 kids. My school district, 2 kids that low income that took the money and went to a private school, because the moms and dads felt that it didn't fit, the public school. And I respect that. One size does not fit all. That's the problem with the public schools. If it's a good school, people don't leave like Londonderry. They won't leave the system. You know what I mean? They'll stay there in the public school. Just like me in the Harrington School. Harrington School, I grew up, was a good school, but I got kept back to the 3rd grade because I used some language.
The interesting thing is you can't go back where one of the teachers would pick you up and throw you against the wall and say,
No, I'm not talking that, just that.
But it's got to the point where you can't say anything to them.
I know that.
So somewhere along the line, who is causing this to happen? You know what I've always thought? Instead of going to the school board, which you need a school board, okay?
Right.
Why don't teachers sit down and come to us and say, this is what we need, because the state is paying for the schools anyway. This is what we need to do. We can't do this. We're bringing in paper. We're bringing in our own pencils. Something's wrong. So who do they blame? They blame the teachers.
I went to finance and the committee there on SB 193. I was the only one that pretty much testified. There was all these teachers, people from the school administrators, everyone testified about the money they're going to lose. Nobody, until I got up, even some people on the finance committee said, Al, you're the only one that came in and talked about the child, the concern about the children on their education. They're all concerned about the money they're going to lose instead of focus on the child. And it was a disgrace.
Al.
And I was in there for an hour and a half,
Al.
2 hours listening to this garbage.
Al.
I'm telling you the fact.
Al, we just solved the problem.
How we solved the problem? Oh,
Excuse
me and you.
Yeah, excuse me. I know Richard, who is involved with, God. We call him God.
We call him God, yeah.
And I said, well, why doesn't the high school kind of You know, it's the school's there. You know, everything is inside, and supposedly students are. Well, why don't they put that there and let it run to a degree that way?
Right.
So no money is leaving, but yet teaching is different.
No. You know, there you go with no money's leaving. The school does not deserve the money if they can't, you know, if the kid does not fit there. They don't get the money anyways if the kid's not in that school.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about SB 193 that we passed in
No,
the House.
I know that, but why aren't the schools, why aren't the kids being taught? Right?
Because one size don't fit all. You got kids that are having problems in certain school, whether it be through bulliness, whether it be through certain teachers, the way they're teaching, whether disruptions in the classroom. Moms and dads have concerns of their children. Some of the mothers I talked to.
Wait a minute. If you got a big school, why is that not going to happen in a charter school?
Apparently, what mothers are making some of the mothers that came in and testified said once they moved their child out of their environment, they did so much better in a new environment. They were testifying on this here.
Well, I want to.
So why wouldn't moms and dads? Don't they know better?
Hold on a second.
Better than government?
Let me just tell you the story.
You think government's the
No,
answer?
I understand. They had something called the Phoenix program,
Mhm.
and I hope I got it right. And they took all the troubled kids, the kids that just caused the trouble. They had problems, so they had this Phoenix program. So, and it paid attention to them, their way, you know, so they could understand. But when they were alone in school, they would act up, and they got rewarded for it. But when they were in the Phoenix program, right? I think it was, I don't know how much money it cost a year. All of a sudden, the schools, my God, everybody's having, all of a sudden, I guess the school board says, it's too much money. So they put the kids back in to the regular schools. All of a sudden, all this trouble. And you're right. You're absolutely correct that they need in schools like a Phoenix program, right in the schools. But it was outside the school.
Right.
So
now we have a program in Londonderry, and I keep
hey,
going
listen.
back
By
to my
the way,
district.
if I am wrong for the teachers out there, you may call them.
Yeah, definitely call them.
Yeah, no.
Because teachers, we want the government out of your life, and we want you to teach like you used to teach, instead of all this garbage,
But
all these restrictions
but
they put on them.
also, I want to just say about teachers. You heard about the protection, school protection thing, right? Okay. I ran for alderman, and so didn't Esther Boris. We're both Democrats. We're both friends. So the teachers go, okay, you're fine. We're not going to vote against you, and we're not going to say vote for both of them. And I went, excuse me, you can't go down there with a sign that says Ken Gidge and Esther Boris? And I said, that means you're a teacher. Teachers are now getting involved. I did the teachers' protection bill. They didn't even send us $50.
Oh, I don't care.
And I go, whoa, hold on a
that's
second.
a personal, you know what I mean?
But
That's
you know what
something.
I mean.
I know that, but still, you
Come
can't hold.
on.
But you can't hold that against the teacher. I mean, I'm glad the teachers didn't get on this. They should be focused on education.
My point is,
what's your point?
They've got to do.
They should have
some
gave you $50.
No, they've got to do some political things.
Like what?
Well, I think teachers should have been down there. I think teachers should have had signs. You can have on the site Esther Ken Gidge, because the teachers think both these people are good. Instead of saying, "Hey, we're not gonna recommend or say who to vote for."
When it comes to Democrats, isn't it smart that both of the teachers stayed out of it rather than make enemies?
No, we both, Esther and I both agreed that.
And who won? You won, right?
Yes.
Over Esther?
Yes, but that's not the point. The point is win or lose. If I would have lost, fine.
Send him some money next time, okay, and say thank you.
I am not. Oh God. No, I think the teachers have just been beaten so much.
Yeah, they too many
and
restrictions
they can't
on them.
do it, and then
They can't. A lot of them can't do their
then
jobs.
it turns around, and it's the first thing they say. Well, the teachers don't teach, and they're no good, etc. So let's get. Well, take a couple steps back, and you would see things
Yeah.
would change. I'll tell you what, I asked the union guy when I was there, does this happen much? He says, most of the time, this is what happens with the lady who got thrown out. By the way, we got her about 4 months' pay, and her record's completely
Right.
expunged. Hey, I want to talk about something, a bill. You talk about a bill that you've heard. I'll talk to a bill about that I've got.
Oh, okay. I have a bill that's going to be heard next February 3rd, I think, on the elderly bill, on the charging elderly late fees on the first. Like I use the mobile home park in my district. We have one that's charging them a late fee if they don't pay their lot fee on the first. They don't get their Social Security checks until the 3rd. Some don't get it till the 7th. So there's different dates on this here. And they live off of that check. Every dime's very important to them. So I put a bill in that to make it illegal to charge a late fee, and you work it out with them on the day their checks come in, when the lot fee is due, or just like when the rent is due.
And you know, in the old days, one would say that's too much work. Today, it's a computer.
Yeah,
Come on.
but I mean, it's a shame I,
I
got
know,
to do
I know.
this.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But it's to protect somebody's elderly, because $25 out of somebody's, Social Security check, that's a big hit.
You know, well, first of all, they also have bills too. I can understand all that. Having said that, I also know a lot of people don't think of like the way you think, and a lot of people honestly don't have the skills to figure out there are programs. This person gets it on the
right.
3rd, they get it on the 3rd, he gets it on the 4th. So you give them a day or two to,
Right.
okay.
And I didn't go into the Veterans Commissioner thing because that's a long thing. That's
Ah,
another bill that I'm involved in.
congratulations.
And it passed the House, and it's in
Congratulations.
right now. They just voted overwhelmingly in ED&A, the subcommittee.
Yeah.
We had a work session yesterday.
Yeah.
So now they will go to the committee next week. ED&A, they'll vote on it, then it'll come back to the floor.
Yeah.
Then it will go to finance.
How
That's
can I help?
you know.
You just tell me how to
Well,
help.
it's just a matter of voting on it on the floor when it comes back.
Well, I mean, if
Because
you need
it-
somebody, committees and stuff, I'll.
Well, they already had the hearings and stuff.
okay,
So,
so
you
is
know.
it just a vote on the floor?
But it's going to, the committee will vote on it. Hopefully they'll support the ED&A 3-0 subcommittee work, the work session vote. And hopefully the whole committee will support it. Then it will move to the floor, we'll vote. Then it will go to finance, and that's where they turn down the nickels and dimes, how much it will cost.
Well, did we talk about you sort of got a raise since we've come
Oh, yeah,
back?
well, I'm the assistant majority leader. Yeah, I'm still the vice chair of Veterans Affairs Committee. But yeah,
Assistant
and then
majority.
I oversee 3 committees.
Oh, and he gets a better parking place.
Oh, no, I always had
And he gets a new seat, and he gets a new plate.
No, I did get an aisle seat, but I was put on the rules committee. I was added to that committee, and Gene Chandler's a great guy. And I ran against him for speaker, but I knew Gene was going. Gene is the most experienced guy there.
Yes, he is.
So I supported Gene.
Well, the past speaker who got a job, he was pretty good to you. The second
Yeah,
year.
Sean. Yeah, we became
Sean,
friends.
yeah.
Sean Jasper and I mean,
Yeah.
when the Democrats put him in, I put out a letter saying I refused to be a chairman under him. I was the chair the term before that.
Yes.
So I refused to be a chair
And
again.
he convinced you to
Right.
take
So
vice
this
chair.
time, we talked about this before.
Yeah, yeah.
He had already had the chair last
Yes,
term.
yes.
He said, Al, I really want you to be the vice chair. We shook hands.
Yeah.
And,
Vice chair's an
we became
important
friends.
position.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he's, a good guy there. I got nothing against Sean Jasper.
All right, let me tell you
What
about
bill?
something that comes in.
What bill did you put in?
No. I'm fighting. I'm not going to. I fight.
Oh, you didn't put no
No.
legislation in?
I have people who have legislation. I fight. But I'll tell you.
What does that mean, I
Yeah.
fight? Define it.
Well, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
A bill comes in, and it says that New Hampshire should know how much money that drug companies spend on their drugs. How long does it take?
That's
What happens?
none of our business.
All right, no, hold on.
State
No,
government's
no.
business.
Oh, no. It is
If he
actually.
files his
No,
taxes.
hold on a second. It is because a lot of these companies are putting money into our universities to let them do the work,
Right.
and our government, state and federal, are putting.
Mhm.
So that give us the right to know no more than how much it cost. We have the right to know that. Okay? We have that right. So that sort of erases that. So that's all I wanted. So, and it was nothing more than that.
Right.
And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, why not? I mean, this really truly is the beginning because something's got to change. And so a doctor gets up and he goes, well, you do realize that now they've been saying it's research, 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 how much money we... It's not. He says it's got to the point where between paying their bills and paying, you know, the people they work for, etc. It's more. That's gone over research. And one of the reasons why is the equipment today. You didn't need 100 people. It took 100 people to do one thing and find out a year. Today it takes a month and one computer. I mean, these are very sophisticated. So all of a sudden they can't use this anymore. And they also can't use, we shouldn't know. Now, as far as profits, we already know what the profits are.
Right, yeah, through taxes and everything.
So they fly this guy in, right? They fly, I mean, the big, and I'm under the impression, from the drug companies. So he flies in, you know. Well, you know, yeah, first thing you're going to know, you're going to want to know how we make them and our patents. And everybody goes, no, it's not in the bill. No, why would we want to know? We don't care. All we want to know is, what are you charging for, okay? So he goes nuts because everybody turns around, Republicans and Democrats, say, hold on a second. That's not what the bill says. This is where he made the big mistake. We got him so frustrated that he says to us that if you have two companies competing for one, let's say, medicine, there's a possibility the price of that medicine will go up. I went, well, excuse me. He tried to explain it. I said, we in the state believe in, you know,
Competition.
We want.
Right.
So I raised my hand and I said, okay, you put a pill down here, right? All right, just one pill. And you say, okay, we want everyone to bid, everyone. And by the way, around the world, people who are doing some pretty good stuff have been trying to get into this country and make things for less, but okay. And I said, well, if you had all the insurance companies and you said, okay, that pill is going to be 1.25 million, let's say the state of New Hampshire. I said, are you telling us that people are going to, well, $10. No, I bid 15. No, I bid 20. This poor guy, when we got done with him, he runs out. So now we're hitting pretty good. Who comes up as the insurance companies? And I go, oh, we've been fighting them for years. And don't misunderstand me. People who sell insurance and work in insurance, good people. All right? And I'm going, oh, my God, this is, here we go. We can't win. They get up and recommend the bill. The first time I've ever seen this. You can't believe how we went after it.
So did you vote on it?
No, wait. So somebody jumps up and says, that's the shame bill. That's the shame bill. How the insurance company. And I said, excuse me, that's something, you know, it's called shame. It's also called politics, right? We got the insurance companies on our side.
Okay, get to the point.
The
what are you
first
trying? So
time.
get to the point. What are you talking? You lost me.
How?
What are we talking about here?
How in the world, when every single person except the drug companies themselves, including the insurance companies, are for this bill, how can this bill fail?
Very simple. Because if the insurance companies are for it, is there money being made? John Hunt, the chairman, is one of the best around. And that he will dissect that bill and make damn well sure it's in the best interest of the state of New Hampshire. That's how it could feel if it's not.
Well, I can promise Ward 6 something. That if Ward 6, anybody in Ward 6 votes against this, they won't be coming back.
Yeah, well, let me
because
put it this way here.
Because that's the first time I've ever seen the insurance company. And I got news for you. He knows insurance, John Hunt. He really is smart. It's the first time I think he's ever been against insurance companies. He's
Is
always
he,
for
is he
insurance
against this
companies.
bill, John Hunt? Because you're setting up for a Republican thing, Democrat. Oh, if anyone ever votes against
Well,
this.
I know,
You know
but
what I mean?
you
I
know,
have to read the bill
when you
to see what you're talking
look,
about.
when you now learn it's no longer research,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they're selling it to you. And now competition is they don't want competition because it may be more expensive for them.
Mm-hmm. But in New
Guess
Hampshire-
who's paying for it?
But New Hampshire does not support monopolies anyways.
Do you get medicines? Do you ever look at how much you pay so much or
Mm-hmm. I don't pay anything. I get
okay,
nothing.
but with your package you get to see how much it costs.
No.
Okay, well I do.
Yeah, I don't.
I look at it. My wife these.
Mine comes from the VA.
Okay, so I look at it and I go, I'm paying this, and it's $500. And so now it clicks on me.
Right.
The insurance companies are paying this,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to pay it anymore.
Mm.
And when the prices finally come down, and I said 1.25 million. When we start thinking about generic drugs, right? You can bet on New Hampshire should be 10 or 20
Right.
generic drugs, and say give us a bid on them for the state because that's stupid now. All right.
And I think that's what the VA does. They get bids because they buy by the thousand, by the millions of
you
drugs.
know,
And my pills come from
That
the warehouse.
that's good to think about. The VA right across the country. You should look that up because I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. But I know.
But can you imagine? Here I am.
By the way, since you're talking medical, by the way, I had my appointment from the operation Monday.
Oh,
On the biopsy
Yes.
that came back was negative. So,
Negative.
yeah, no cancer. So that was a good thing.
good for
Just
you.
in case you cared, what I mean?
I do
thought
care. I do
I thought I
care.
threw that out there.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
don't tell
But
me
you
it
know-
bothered you a little too.
But you know that I just had my appointment and my right side of my throat is not getting use. I guess because that polyp had been blocking
Yeah.
for years. So now they're going to set me up. I have an appointment in another week or two. I got to go back down to Jamaica Plains for a voice test. And then they're going to figure out, because I still have swelling in there.
You and a voice
Yeah,
test.
and they saying that I'm speaking out of the left side of my vocal cord.
Okay, can you say me, 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 me? Go ahead.
Yeah, me.
All right,
me,
there
me.
you go. That's a voice.
Yeah, but if I go like this here, me. But if I go like this, me, it's totally different. I've been trying
You
that.
do know you are nuts.
Yeah, I am.
And we haven't gotten in one
I am.
argument.
But
We're doing pretty good.
Because it's the first time that since Trump has been our president, or during the election, you have not brought up the great things that Trump has done since he's been the president.
Yes, let me see. He's holding he wants $25 billion for
Right.
the wall.
Yes,
You think that's right?
yes,
Didn't he say Mexico was going to pay for it?
yes. We
Uh,
talked about that in the
But
beginning,
wait a minute,
remember?
he's taking that away from the American people.
No, wait.
Excuse me, $25 million, or he's not going to let 700,000
Let me-
people in DACA stay
Okay,
in.
how many-
He is blackmailing.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question here, and I want to
Is
understand something.
is he asking for 25 million?
I'm going to ask you a question. How many drug overdoses have you had in the city of Nashua in the last few years? How many drug overdoses?
Excuse me.
Answer me.
Wait a minute.
How many
Whoa,
drug
whoa, whoa,
overdoses?
Whoa, whoa. You stood and I saw you, and they will play clips and you'll build a wall, build a wall.
I support it.
Yeah.
How many
And
drug
get-
overdoses?
And so we're paying for it.
How many drug
Is that
overdoses
okay
have you
for
had?
you?
You know something?
Is that all right for you?
If it costs us one time, we're spending right now $95 billion throughout the country.
Ladies
Between prison,
and
education,
gentlemen,
food stamps, TANF
you
programs
are watching
that we're
a
spending.
Republican
$25 billion.
eat crow.
25 billion. How much money do you put on your children?
President said it wasn't
Wait,
going to cost us
How
any
much money do you put on
Excuse me,
children
excuse me.
that
Did-
died on
excuse me,
overdoses?
Did he say somebody else is going to pay for it?
They're gonna.
Now, who's paying for it?
Ted Cruz.
Excuse me, who's paying for it?
Right now we have let me
Who's
finish.
paying for
Shut up.
it?
Shut
We're
up.
paying for it.
Right-
And that's okay with you?
Right now.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yes.
okay that we pay for it. But it was not okay. That's how you got rid of Hillary,
much
huh?
money do you put on a child that is dying from an overdose with the drugs coming over the borders? How much money do you put on that child's life?
You know how dumb that is?
I think it's smart. I think
They
because
want $25 billion. I know where
Yeah.
I'd put the 25
because
billion.
a one-time expenditure to build that wall, in the long run, we're going to save billions and billions of dollars.
You're crazy.
We won't have kids coming
You're
across the border no
absolutely
more.
nuts.
We won't have drugs coming across the
Statistically,
border.
they can see that it's
You know,
down now.
you're just worried
it's
about
now
it.
not even.
Wait,
It's more
you're
of other
worried because you
countries.
will lose voters. That's what you're worried
No,
about. The Democrats.
no,
They
no,
will lose voters.
No, I think when a person like you stood on the stage, and they're going to show this.
I support it.
Lock her up, lock her up.
Yeah, and I support locking
build
her
a
up.
wall, build a wall.
That's right.
build a- and he says, hey, it's not
Build
going to
the
cost us
wall.
anything. It's
Build
not gonna
the
cost
wall.
us, now it's going to cost us $25 billion.
25 billion.
And
Tell
he
that to a
is
mom and
holding
dad
this-
or a family member
And he-
that lost a child overdosing with drugs. Why this one-time investment will make a big difference in America. You don't get it.
Let me see. So you're using the death of children,
Yes.
okay?
And other people that are
Right.
overdosing, yes.
And what did
Yes.
you?
Why it's
excuse me,
important to put
and
this wall
what
in.
did you use? The Mexico was going to pay for it.
Because
Was
Texas,
that? Was that?
Senator Ted Cruz, right now we have $14 billion tied up in court.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, with Chapo.
here is a
El Chapo.
Republican.
El Chapo, the $14 billion of his money is tied up in court. Senator Ted Cruz has filed a bill for all that money that drew the drug busts and everything else from overseas coming in here to use that money to reimburse that money down the road.
You know something? You're a Republican. Is nothing.
Am I wrong?
No, hold on.
What
a
I
second.
just said?
Hold on a second.
Am I wrong?
Well, yeah,
Am I wrong?
you really are wrong.
About the $14
No,
billion?
you really are wrong.
About the $14 billion?
Because you were one of the people who voted for him because he
Right.
said, we will build a
You're
wall
damn
that
right.
won't cost anything.
It's better than voting for the
and
criminal.
now he's putting up $25 billion he wants for the wall that he said he was not going to pay for. Against 700,000 people called DACA
You know
that may
something?
be thrown out of the country. And now he's blackmailing
And let me ask you something.
to help
Hey,
people?
If somebody
That's
breaks,
awful.
If somebody breaks
If you
into your
put up
house,
with that, you're-
if somebody breaks in your house and they bring their children with them, okay, and they're robbing you, and they leave, will you take care of the children when they go to jail?
You know something?
Do you let the
You know what's happening?
You say
to
that's
the
okay to break
Republicans?
into our country?
What the Republicans do is they definitely change.
See how
the
I got him
subject.
going on Trump?
They really changed.
And
the
listen,
su-
how do people get in
changed
touch with you?
The
Hey,
subject.
how do people get in touch with you? Because I don't want you
We gotta
lying.
do it more.
Hey,
yeah,
how do people get in touch
glad
with you?
we're back. Okay, my
Yeah.
name is Ken Gidge. You can go to Gidge World.
His own world.
That's right. Or kengidge@gmail.com or gidgek@nashua.nh.gov.
And I'm Representative Al Baldessau, and I'm from Londonderry. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. 425-6997 is my phone number. I live at 41 Hall Road in Londonderry. If you disagree with what I'm saying,
That's right.
stop by my house.
come over here.
And we can talk
You
about
can-
it. You
they
come
can
right,
come right
here.
here.
Okay?
Yeah.
I am glad we went 15 minutes without him lying and going off here.
Maybe we should
Okay?
do this again. All right, thank you. We'll
Hillary's
see
a
you-
Clinton.
Oh,
Hillary, lock her up.
Yeah,
Lock her up.
Yeah, this guy's
Lock-
so gone.
lock her up.
All right.
Go
Thank
Trump.
you very much.
Go Trump.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.